Hopefully I can get the transmission, all that jammed in and fired up. So I will catch you guys on the next one. Good morning. So it's a brisk, cold day today. It's kind of crazy, the weather in Michigan right now. We go from being like 70 and sunny to low 40s and gusty. I got that piece, the clutch fork retainer. So here's the clutch fork. Here's my throwout bearing. So it appears that both sides are the same, which is good of this thing. And so this clips on something like that. And then what this does is it holds the clutch fork, oh, wrong way. It holds the clutch fork to the transmission, so then it pivots on the slave cylinder side. So it goes something like that. So I'm gonna go grease up these two contact points where this thing touches the clutch fork, and I'm gonna prepare this for installation. I kind of had a hard time like sleeping last night. I was thinking about my crap weld job on that flywheel, so I might actually fire up the engine without the transmission attached and hopefully break off any potential welds I might want to let go. I'd hate to do all this and then have a weld break off and then get caught in the starter or some teeth in the flywheel. So let's get to it. This is where a lift would really be amazing. So I'm gonna throw the throwout bearing in there along with the clutch fork. Okay. Alright, that feels acceptable. Let's see. That's way up. Alright, nubbins like that, alright. So you put your short nubbins on the top and bottom on this part. So I'll put a little bit of stuff on the spline here. Sorry about the angles. This is a really tricky position to do this in. I'll put a little bit on the throwout bearing ride area. So that's where the throwout bearing touches the transmission shaft deal. Yeah, it feels okay. A little on this side. Cool. So my crap weld job is kind of scaring me, so I'm gonna go fire this thing up. Hopefully no crazy noises happen or anything. And that seems fine. Ignore that bad fuel. So, okay. Hopefully that broke some of those welds loose. Now's a good time to do all my shifter bushings. So I have the main one, the rear. I should have two fronts. I don't know where that other one went. Then I have the one that connects actually to the transmission itself. That was a major pain, but I was able to get this thing out. So this thing is actually like clipped in place and it's completely shot. So it's clipped underneath at the further, the rearmost part of the shifting assembly, which goes on there. So it's gonna get replaced. I got a handy dandy new one right here. It's gonna feel great. So I started removing one of these bushings. They're both not great. Unfortunately, I didn't realize when I ordered parts, you need to order two of those. I ordered one. So this one seems to be the worst one. So I've started removing that. And then I also have the plastic retainer piece that grabs the shift lever, and I will also be replacing that with a new piece. All right, let's zip these transmission mounts off. Throw some new ones in. So that is a 13. They feel a little better. These are kind of sloped a little bit, so hopefully it'll improve the ride quality a bit. Alrighty, it's time to put that transmission back in. So I got the jack, everything ready. Hopefully you guys will get some sort of view. Just try to get you a little closer. All right, so my stabilizer died. Unfortunately, you guys didn't get to see that. It was quite a challenge to get that first bolt in on that transmission. So that first bolt is in fact in. I ended up lifting it up, pivoting the front of the transmission lower bell housing to come in line with the back plate of the engine. And then I put both hands under it, lifted it up manually, and just kind of jiggled and flapped it around. So eventually the splines of the transmission slipped into the splines on the clutch disc. And then I threw that bolt in really quick and then got the jack still supporting it. So I'm gonna put the transmission cross brace mount in, drive shaft, bell housing bolts, and then I'll get working on the clutch slave cylinder. The biggest challenge with this whole thing is, I don't know if you can see them, those two bolts right there on the back of the engine. So those are tightened up. So those hold the transmission bell housing into the back of the engine. Based on the clearances, that is a very difficult thing to reach, but those are now tightened. So I'm going to tighten the rest of them around the bell housing, remove the jack, put the transmission mounts back connected with their cross brace, and reconnect the drive shaft along with the shifter linkage. With the transmission in, there's a few other things to connect. I also ended up breaking one of the PCV breather hoses in the process, and so I'm waiting for that to come in. Anyways, that'll conclude this episode. The next episode, I will see you guys after I connect the drive shaft completely, and then let's take it for a drive.